I'll make a motion to bring the meeting for the Warren Board of Health in Warren, Massachusetts to order on June 25th, 2024, and to let everybody know we are being televised. Do I hereby second?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor? Aye. Meeting is now in session. Call meeting to order. 24 North Street, 27 North Street, 200 O'Neill. Aren't those all in litigations at this point?
24 North Street, I just did the final inspection on today.
Okay.
They're all set. Everything is where it needs to be right now. The remainder of that is we need to discuss where we're going with the money fine. Typically, it's been $300 per day, every day he's out of compliance. Now, we were giving him a free ride. The first meeting that we had with him, he committed to 2 weeks. He would have everything completed, and everything would be up to snuff, in code, the whole 9 yards. That didn't play out that way. It dragged on and dragged on. After the 2-week limit, I contacted him, talked to him. He said he had hired a contractor. The contractor was not a viable contractor, licensed contractor. Didn't have any insurance or anything. Also didn't pull any permits. And couldn't establish his license with the owner. So they played the song and dance game back and forth. He was notified that as of that time, we were going to revert back to the first date that we made the agreement on TV with everybody at the selectmen meeting. And then we started the count from the fine starting at that first meeting up to presence. So at $300 a day, he basically has a lawyer in his pocket right now. We've already had him at one of our meetings. He doesn't feel he should be paying any fines at all. So right now, I did the final inspection today. Everything is up to snuff, where it should be. So we need to decide or move ahead with what we're going to do with the fines.
Dan, I don't remember, or do we have record of all these days that you're talking? Are we talking 30 days, 60 days from back to these past meetings?
Yes, it's all documented.
It's all documented. Do we have any idea how many days might be in there, what this total fine might be?
He was, the last count he was at was 15,000. And I have to tally up the last couple of weeks, a couple of months.
So we could be up close to 20,000 then.
Could be. I mean, you're looking at $300 a day.
In my opinion, a fine's a fine.
We had an agreement with the person on video, tape recorded the whole 9 yards, and he didn't live up to his end of the deal.
So then that's gone. So this is the new stuff that he didn't perform to.
That was his pledge that he would make that and be done with it within 2 weeks, and he didn't do that. And it's dragged out, got to be 3 to 4 months since then.
My feelings are that we should tally up all those days that he's due for fines and bill him. Does anybody have anything else to say for it?
I agree with that. It was something.
We originally had it at $500 a day, which puts it in criminal court. We dropped it to 300, which keeps it to housing level court, so it can go to housing level court. If it does, it does. It is what it is.
I'm gonna make a motion that we fine him. I'll make a motion that we fine 24 North Street for all fines due.
I second.
Motion made and second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Jessica, would you be kind enough to tally up or find out what all those days would be?
Sure.
Thank you. 27 North Street.
27 North Street. I get called over there, well, it's gotta be about a month and a half now, for a reevaluation, final inspection. I went over there and they were nowhere near, even considered to be compliant. They had electrical work done, they didn't pull a permit. Since then, they pulled the permit. They have issues with their fire alarm system in the house. Fire department's been over there almost on a daily basis, and they're getting really sick and tired of the issues going on with that system. It's not a residential system that's there, and he was told he's got the wrong system in the house, but yeah, he keeps Mickey Mousing with the thing. So when I went over there last, I gave him 3 weeks to come into compliance, which didn't happen. He said he would call me as soon as he was ready for another inspection, and here we are at June 25th, and I haven't heard a word out of him. So, the fire chief has hit me up a couple of times, you know, what's going on over there, all this other stuff. I said, you know, I'm in the same boat as you are right now. We got a guy over there who basically promises you the world and gives you absolutely nothing. He did pull a permit for electrical after the fact. That's about all that he's done. I did see, when I went over there, I did see also the contract for the pest abatement. So those 2 items are taken care of. Other things are still not taken care of. There's still things on the original checklist that need to be taken care of.
So is he to be fined as well, do you think?
Yeah, and I told him he was being fined, and I told him it was the amount of $300 a day, and he didn't seem to face him in the least. Again, he's another outside the town landlord who basically, I spoke to him on his phone. He's texted me directly to my own phone, and then categorically denied it right to my face, even though I showed him the text. That's not me. That's not me. You know, but he's an out of town landlord. He's only a kid, so I don't know what his story is.
Jessica, would you be able to calculate how many days he's been out of compliant? Do we have enough, you got enough information out there?
Yes.
I'm gonna make a motion that we fine him $300 a day for all the days he's been out of compliance. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 $200 O'Neill.
200 O'Neill, I'm gonna make the recommendation that goes, we send that to legal. They're not responding to absolutely anything. We've had them served by the sheriff down there in Rhode Island, and they have absolutely responded to nothing.
That house has to be a mess by now.
That house should be condemned. It's already non-livable. It should be torn down. There's also a mortgage on that house, and there's back taxes owed on that house.
Oh, Jesus.
So that, I'm making a recommendation to refer that to legal.
Okay, send to legal. The senior center dumpsters.
All right, I can take that one. So, there's 6 containers in the back of the wheel carts that Burnett's picks up. One of them recently got replaced with a new cart. There's 4 others that have holes in them, the lids doesn't work. One, the wheels are missing. If we could just contact the company and see if they're working on getting new dumpsters. I know one appeared recently, but they all need repairs. There's holes in them.
Do we have the dumpster company, Burnett's?
Yeah, they're all Burnett's dumpsters. See if he can
I think,
make some repairs.
yeah, I think we should give him a time limit, so it doesn't drag out.
Yes.
I believe
that's-
it was requested after the inspection
Do you
was
know
done.
when it was
there
requested?
From Tricia. There is documentation in
Okay.
the office, because it was seen at the time of the
Yes.
inspection there, and I did reach out. I'll follow through
Okay.
again though.
Yeah, just
Cool.
give him another. There's at least, like I said, he put one new one there, or someone put a new one there. But there's 4 of them that need to be.
Okay.
Village Market update post pre-operational inspection. Has everybody read the health inspector's review of what's going on down there and what we've got? And you were there, Jim.
Yes, I tagged along.
What do you have any words of wisdom?
Well, our biggest thing was there was still food in the freezer on the premises.
And that was the food that was, she was told to get rid of
Yes.
from the beginning.
I guess it was before my time that it was actually,
This goes
Indeed,
back, you're going back to that freezer.
yes, so it's, so that as of Friday, that freezer was still had food in it. That's one of the.
Doesn't stop there, does it?
No. The mop sink issue too. With going down to the basement, I believe that is an option.
So I'm reading this and I can't believe it, that we're being told that there's a sink down in the basement. But then as I read this, it
Yes.
says the sink is not connected to the plumbing.
No, there's no sink.
So it would just, it's a dry sink.
Yeah, there would have to be totally replumbed and it.
So how can you get water out of this sink to fill this bucket and carry this bucket with,
Well, is what it is, they would be carrying a full bucket of dirty water down a dozen stairs that are pretty narrow to dump this bucket. And I just don't see that happening.
Dump it into a sink that isn't plumbed.
Yes. It's,
what do you do with all those spiders down there, Jim?
there was quite a few.
Quite a few, huh?
Yeah, there's quite a few.
So, you know, to stop everything there, let's stop there and expand on this. What do we do? What you
Well,
need-
it goes further. I mean, she asked to put the slop sink outside. And that is not code. You can't do it.
What are you gonna do in the wintertime?
Even asked the building inspector, and he said, no way. So something has to be done where she's gonna have to work out a way to have a sink put in the building.
So you can't touch the sink in the bathroom, it's for hands only.
Right.
You can't touch the 3-bay sink in the food area there. It's got its mission. You've got a refrigerator though right next to it. And do we have any kind of distances from the 3-bay sanitizing array of sinks that that something like this could be mounted? 5 feet, 6 feet, 8 feet, 22 feet?
There's no way you can put a sink in that back room. in the place.
In that place. No way to put a sink in that place. No way to put a sink in that place.
It is a very small, me being there, I finally got to see the actual layout. It's a small area to add anything else in to, without taking something out.
How about even if it was to go back where the ice cream machine is? The soft
That's
serve?
behind the counter. You'd have to plumb over there and put drains and everything else, and you'd have to run water over there.
That would work back there?
Huh?
You could, that could be an idea?
Not really, no. Because again, it's gonna cost money to plumb everything that way, if it's doable.
I
We're
mean-
talking cold water, hot water, and drains.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to tie into a stack somewhere. Actually, there's gonna have to be a stack put in, because there are no stacks on the entire plumbing system. And the guy that came in to look at the sink, it stated that he would have to put stacks going all the way up through the building and out the wall of the roof, because there aren't any. So, that house, that building has been hacked and jacked, and every Tom, Dick, and Harry has had his hands doing something in there, and nothing's been screwed.
So,
So that's part of the high cost of doing a grease trap, is you have to change all of the plumbing in the entire building. And that also buys into the slop sink. Now,
So-
the option that she asked for is to use a wet Swiffer. Until we can come up with a plan for a slop sink. Or she can come up with a plan for a slop sink. That's on her, that can't be on us.
May I? Under this email for the board to review from the health inspector, under the mop sink, it is asked that the board, under recommendation, to extend the requirement for a mop sink to August 1st, 2024, to allow Gina to use a Swiffer type mop and spray fluid until the mop sink can be properly installed, which is what along the lines he was just saying.
does anybody have a problem with that?
No, I think it's a viable option. Because you do have to do some exploratory to find out where you can put the slop sink. And then wherever you do it, you're gonna have to plumb it.
Yeah.
So I think further time would be beneficial.
So that we want to accept, I'm going to make a motion to accept the health inspector's idea to use that Swifter until August 1st. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Dairy. I got a problem with all this dairy stuff. The dairy cooler temperatures above 40 degrees are for the very cold. Ice cream cabinet freezer items are not between. Please want to sell any of those items. Jim, have you got any input on this dairy stuff that Tricia looked at down here? Especially this part here where your request to place an order with All Star Dairy will have to wait until the Board of Health meeting on Tuesday, June 25th. Your presence is not required, but you may attend. The health inspector will be presenting her proposal. The request to install your mop and sink. Where did it go? The contingency to clean them. Let me find it here, I lost it. So I guess I read somewhere,
So your concern is the cooler temperatures?
the cooling temperature, and do you have to have a
Currently, the
self-certification to sell dairy products, so that if her mother's there, she can't sell them?
So that was the thing. She said that if she wasn't there, some certain things would not be available. I mean, the kitchen would be closed. This wouldn't, such products wouldn't be served if she wasn't there and her mother just was there. But is there a clear sign? Is there? There's got to be a clear sign put in place if that is. That's kind of worries me too. Is it? I know it's just two people running it. It's 10 kids, 10 people walk in there. There's people walking all over the store, and it's. Yeah, it's
Was there any discussion about not being able to, so you're not being able to sell any kind of dairy if
only when Jenna was there
Jenna was there?
that dairy would be sold. I guess.
And on the contingency plan that she sent, she has, this email is to confirm the contingency plan for when the owner, Gina Stewart, is not present at the store, which is never over 1 day, for any employee to sell dairy products, including but not limited to ice cream, milk, sour cream, butter, whipped cream, and half and half.
So on that review of the contingency plan, in her email here, including the phrase, including but not limited to the content of selling ice cream, we responded to that email, and she emailed back stating that I'm always here, but in the event I'm not here, the ice cream will not be served. And then she attached the ice cream menu.
Which the ice cream menu has to be updated because it doesn't include items that says she's serving, but is not on the menu.
I'll tell you, sometimes I think it would be easier to go to school than to get this little store up and running.
So under that, the health agent had stated, due to the additions of the ice cream menu, said concerns with the ice cream menu, which is not submitted at the time of the application, is that there are items on there that require more preparation than she was aware of at the time of the application. Ice cream flurries would require the soft serve ice cream or a stick blender. Banana boats would require bananas, which are not on the listed items to order or sell.
And all the accoutrements that go with it, cherries, nuts, whipped
Yeah.
cream, what have you.
There's coffee, which we were told is for employees only. The brownies are commercially prepackaged from a retail inventory, and the vanilla cake cubes are cut up Twinkies from the retail inventory. She explained the importance of allergy awareness in the operation, and she does have signs posted about allergens.
I can't see this going forward. She just can't sell ice cream at this point in time. Does anybody see anything different here?
I'd say there's more work to be done.
More work to be done to get that part of that store up and running?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna make a motion that, she can't serve ice cream until there's more work done to facilitate the serving of ice cream. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Motion made, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The annual retail food service permits.
Before we move to that,
Yeah, there's other items on
yeah, there's
here.
other items we need to go over.
Are you on the village market?
Yep,
What you got?
your new foam tablets. After Trish did research on it, and I did research on it also, they are strictly for bar use only. You cannot use them in commercial cookware, dishware, or accessories of that nature. So she has to do something different. They don't protect or sanitize against foodborne pathogens, the new foam tablets.
Oh.
So she would like to use a chlorine sanitizer, and will have the appropriate test strips available for final inspection. Tricia's gotta find out what the concoction is for the actual mixture for the bleach. So we have the right
Solution.
formulation or solution to clean it.
Okay.
And that's straight out of, the new form tablets is straight out of new form manufacturer's mouth. That's not looking on the internet, that's right from the horse's mouth.
So then you're gonna wanna use pH strips in order to,
Test, yeah, but we gotta find out what's the correct solution. There's a solution for cleaning blood and stuff like that, there's a mixture that you use with bleach and water. There's also another different mixture that you use with bleach and water to clean, or to, a different strength to sanitize equipment, food cutting surfaces, stuff like that.
that's, like the little buckets we got off of the health inspector to,
Yep,
mix that,
Yep.
solution?
yep. Now, there is a product out there called Sanitab. Sanitab is used in most restaurants. You throw the tablets into a tub of water, and it dissolves and sanitizes the water and makes the solution that you would need to clean everything. And it is food service grade per minute. Okay. Along with that, though, they're much more expensive than the other stuff the new form tablets are. And you can't basically say that if she buys a bottle of this stuff, she's gonna use it before it expires. You know what I'm saying?
I do, Dan, you're coming in loud and clear. What's our options?
The option is to find out what and it should be on the owner to find out what the sanitizer solution mix is. If that's the route she wants to go, she should find out and document to us what that mixture is and what the pH level needs to be.
I imagine that pH level is gonna be somewhere around 7, it's gonna be neutral,
It's gonna have to be.
you know?
But again, it's gotta be strong enough to kill foodborne illnesses.
And then I do believe our water department, well, she's in West Warren, I don't know what West Warren does, but, well, Warren does put in a neutral pH additive because it comes out of the ground and it is hard. It comes out at almost a 9, if not an 8. So
So
she's
it's
got to do
almost
that.
alkaline.
She's got to do that, yeah.
So, she should come up with that procedure for cleaning with the bleach solution and provide that to us. The other issue is wholesale licenses. Food should be coming from wholesale vendors, not
Flea
Big
markets.
Y, not Ocean State, not any of these,
Yep.
you know.
I think that is probably going to be one of the biggest things to, again, either stop or monitor. Well, unless they've got, like it says here, receipts. You know, where did you get that from? I can't give you a receipt, I don't have one. That would be, so looking at monitoring the situation, what, every 60 days? To see what we got?
Well, we already came up with a plan of attack, so to speak.
Plan of attack is good, yeah.
Okay, every,
After the final inspection.
huh?
After the final
After
inspection.
final inspection, it would be a monthly inspection for the next 6 months. And she'd have to put the cost for it. Which means the inspector's fees.
Every month?
Every month for 6 months. Upon approval to open.
And she's still got a long way to go before she gets there.
Yeah. But if you look at like Jimmy, I don't even know how to say the name, Chamara's,
Tomorrow, yeah.
They don't have a wholesale license. But she buys stuff from them. Burnett's is another one. Okay? Unless you transform the item to a new item, like buys a roll of bread and cuts it in half and makes grinder rolls out of it, okay, then she doesn't need to, they don't need to have that wholesale license. But if she's using products from that store and selling them as is, then they have to have a wholesale license.
It is stated that she's working on sourcing those licenses from the vendors, or she does understand that she will need to find a new vendor if that can't be provided.
Then again, that's gonna have to be something on that monthly inspection that you look at.
Now, with these inspections, would they just be walk in at any
Yep.
time, surprise?
Yep,
Okay.
not a scheduled inspection. Also, it would be 2 people, it would be the inspector and another person with her.
Well, if that helps and that works, let's do it. Set it up every month. Once she passes the pre-operational, everything that we just discussed here, send her a letter, and for the ice cream that she won't be selling while she's not there, and everything else we discussed, the mop, the Swiffer mop, she could use that for until August 1st. And let's see if we can get this plane off the ground.
There is information here about the soft serve ice cream machine must be repaired or removed within 6 months per
our
the board
agreement. Yep, we
at our
made
last
that decision
meeting.
last meeting. She is considering on repairing the machine now and returning it to operation, which means it's a whole new ball of wax for self-serve ice cream or soft-serve ice cream. And Trish went over that with her. The steps that need to be need to be in place before applying for a soft-serve machine to be used at her locale. And she's going to take care of getting all the information and documentation to Gina.
Well, at this point in time, since is it not usable? Is she just not using it, or is it broken?
She says it's broken.
Broken. Now
That's
it's
what she
broken
says.
today. Okay.
And it does have a sign on it currently.
Does?
That states it's out of order. But who knows what it would take to get it going? Who knows?
You know, like a
Okay.
fuse?
It's only a repair, you know.
So do we give her this extended time to repair that? Do we grant her that?
She's not asking for that right now.
She's just gonna keep it there broken?
She's got 6 months to do something, and we've already done that.
Okay.
And the other thing too, that the convection oven, is that gonna get moved out, or? That was one other
The
topic.
convection of it.
Whatever is not being used for equipment has to be moved out.
That
So
was
there was
at
a-
the last meeting you had discussed, I'm sorry to interrupt you, that the fire chief would go and evaluate that
Yeah.
first.
Did we ever make that happen? No?
He didn't come to the inspection,
didn't-
right?
No, and I didn't see any like sign on it that said do not use or out of order. So, and there was some like pizza makers and stuff around, like it could be used, but, so there should be something on it stating.
Do not use,
do not
out of
use.
service.
Maybe that's something we can include in that letter, if that oven is there currently. Make
Pizza
a do
oven?
not use,
Yeah, out of service.
out of service sign on it until it's removed.
I agree. Let's put that in that letter. Put the same yellow tape around it that the ice cream machine has. Put that out of order. And then, also, want me to give Chief Adam a call
Okay.
and find out about the convection oven? Whether or not a convection oven needs to be vented to the outside. That'll be interesting.
It really didn't look like there was no way it would vent as where it was.
The only thing that's there for a vent is what's in the side wall, that fan on the wall. That's it.
That's it. Yeah, it's-
And that's not a direct vent over,
yeah. You need something.
that's an
over
area
it.
vent.
Yeah, avoid.
It's just a draw, it's just a ventilation fan.
I did notice they do have fairly good AC in there. So like because it was a warm day we went there. It was a good AC she had in there.
Okay.
That's- I
Well,
can say that.
Okay. Do we think that covers everything?
The only other thing is that the freezer with all the food in it, that food, she was told to get rid of it at the beginning, she didn't, she just left it in the freezer. I think it should be conditional upon her getting her pre-operational inspection that that food has to be gone, and we have to see source proof that it is gone.
I think maybe we should check sooner and see if that's gotten taken care of. Give that like a week or so, 2 weeks at the most. Make sure that, 'cause That sounds like that was a hot topic
It was.
back in the,
It was, but when I talked to her the other day, Trish, she says, when I saw that, I almost turned around and walked down the street.
It was
I mean-
reminded at our last meeting too,
that
Yes.
prior to
freezer
the
was completely
pre-operational.
full, not just a few things, this was up to the lid.
Yeah,
It was completely full
Full
of
Veg,
open
chicken.
containers, open ketchup, open ham,
Meats.
big chunks of ham. Those weren't fully sealed or put in any kind of container. We're going back to when I was there in March, maybe. I can't imagine that still being good. So why don't you throw it out?
It's what needs to occur, I feel.
So yeah,
Is there a possibility it happened within the time frame since we've been there? I don't know, but it's definitely something to be checking in on
Yeah.
very shortly, I would think.
before I did anything, I'd probably walk in there and open that refrigerator up and make sure it was empty, clean, and sanitized, ready to rock and roll, because if that stuff was still in there, there's stuff that could have grown on the walls of that freezer.
It did have a ice buildup too. It has to be defrosted.
So that tells you right there, there's a seal issue.
I don't even know if a commercial power washer will take off some of that stuff, Let's give her our best shot, though. Let's stop in and check on her, see if that freezer has been emptied, cleaned, and sanitized. No green things, brown things, nothing crawling around inside it.
so the health inspector is asking the board to vote on whether to move forward with scheduling the final inspection yet or not.
I don't think this is gonna be a final inspection. It's going to be like another pre-operational inspection to see if it even meets or come close to what we're asking for her to do. And to go over the guidelines again for the mop, the sink, the ice cream machine, to see if she's aware. And I suggest another pre-operational. And when she gets that letter, so 10 days. Anybody got anything to say on that?
I'm in agreement.
Let's give her best shot, you know? See if any of this can be knocked out.
Days for the letter to be given and drafted, or are you requesting 10 days for an inspection?
I was requesting 10 days for an inspection.
What is your schedule for, I know you're leaving for vacation. How long are you gonna be gone?
I'll be back Monday.
Okay.
So it's in hopes Tricia has availability. She did give me a couple dates next week, but obviously that's, with this, it doesn't give her enough time.
Any day but
Miss
July
Stewart,
4th will
but-
work.
But,
Any day but July 4th.
Well, Tricia's got a schedule too that we gotta look at.
yeah. So I mean, I can discuss with her if you're talking the week of the 8th through the 12th.
Yes, that's not great.
Okay.
That'd be great. that take care of the village market updates?
At the pre-operational inspection, Tricia did write out inspector commitments and Ms. Stewart commitments, which you have in front of you too.
Yeah, to do basically what we're asking is every month someone pop in there. She might have said every 2 months, but the more frequent at this point in time would be better, in my opinion. And it will also be, after this next pre-operational inspection, that any other ones, aside from the 2 that we do, will be paid for by her. And at this point in time, I'd like to say, I think we had a pretty good turnout for the open house, no?
Yeah.
Awesome.
We had quite a few establishments come and ask some questions, and we kind of felt some places were lacking on sanitizer knowledge, and she helped them out. And we have some free samples in the office for it too.
So yes, we have now sanitizers this is what we recommend, thermometers for the meats, buckets to mix the solutions, pH strips that are in date, they're not outdated,
Alcohol wipes.
alcohol wipes. Yeah, and a little container to mix that solution up in.
Anybody think of gloves?
We do have a bunch of gloves in the office. We can
Okay.
provide if needed.
just to help everybody out. So it did. I saw people come in and out, which was great.
Is this something that could probably be done annually? Just to keep this up?
You know, that's not a bad idea. Actually.
You know,
Not a bad idea.
it sounds like it was a good,
A little, look, we're not the bad guys here.
because, businesses change, businesses get new employees, things change year to year, new businesses come in.
And hopefully what it does is it explains to everybody the overall picture that both the town and the restaurants are working as a team, all right, to stop or be able to trace any kind of foodborne viruses. And this is what we need from you for us to do our job. We're not the enemy. We just need to do this. Things like that, and that we're not the bad guy.
I know it was like, what was the time, from 9 to 4, like during the day? Is it worth having one in the evening for a few hours, or to get different times, different businesses? I know the businesses could be all working, people would come at the end of in the evening to get information, or I don't know if that's something to, in the future, if they
Yeah.
want to continue something like this.
I think Tricia had discussed briefly about offering some classes through the year, free classes for food establishments in town for certain topics, just to help with some certain areas for more knowledge. So,
The idea is attention. You got to keep what you're doing in the limelight. Evidently, you can forget about it and go, oh yeah, that's commercial. I brought this from home. Oh crap. Keep it. This is the way it's supposed to go.
The other thing we could do too, to augment that, is to put some YouTube videos up on the website.
that would be great. I can definitely
Yeah.
look into that.
because ServSafe has a whole slew of them out there.
Yeah.
Sharing videos out.
I do like the one about our mission and what our job is, you know, in tracing down any kind of foodborne viruses like that, so that they know who we are and that we're not after them. Because we just need, you know, that tire to be round and filled with air. For better, lack of a
Yeah,
better
no,
thing to
yeah.
put it against.
And
So
that's
that-
why annually you do something, outreach.
Yeah.
Yeah, do annual outreach,
Yeah.
you know, like,
That's
I
what we
thought
do,
the open house was a good idea. I was hoping to be here for it, but I just couldn't do it.
Well, but, and that's what I'm saying, an open house at different times, if it's a Saturday or an evening versus a day when possibly all the business owners are doing their business, running their business, or unable to come. It's just something to think about.
I think it's great.
Different
I think
times.
it's great. It's taking me to like the Texas Roadhouse or something like that, having a barbecue from different restaurants or put their best food out there. And today, you know, this year here, this month here, whatever it is, this quarter, we're supporting. Boom, and bring up
Yep.
whatever restaurants.
Yeah.
And then have them cook up, you know, have people come by and, you know, maybe we would have a contest. I think they go. Maybe I'm really way out there, huh?
With
Yeah,
that being-
in that sense, you're doing more of the business outreach, more than the safety.
With that being said, I think the budget for the health inspector may need to be reviewed.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot
Absolutely.
of thoughts and but a
I'm-
lot of inspections also.
I'm already shaking about just getting through 2025 here, to tell you the truth. So let's do that first. I'll go up in front of the finance committee at another time. Well, it ain't far away. It's going to be in January. To start the review.
Closer than that,
you know.
fiscal year starts when?
Fiscal year starting next week,
I
right?
mean, yeah, it's.
July.
But for 2026, we start to review and what we think is
On
going to
record.
happen in 2026 in January 2025.
Mhm.
Okay. Want to try it again? Do we think we can move forward? Let's go to annual food permits. What do we got? Anything? Annual retail food service permits.
So we
All them
have.
signed?
We have a few. We have about 4 or 5 of them that have submitted their applications, so we're still waiting for a good number of them. But I think the open house help assist that. But hoping to get the remainders very soon.
How many do you think we're waiting for?
Well, we have 17 food establishments in town, and we got 4 or 5 of them.
So we're looking for 13. Who?
I think the request for the new application had slowed down some of the submissions of the new fiscal year. But hopefully that will wrap up after, again, like we said, that the health inspector spoke with them, spoke with a couple of the establishments on how to proceed with the application.
Awesome. So it is moving. We got them coming in.
Should be moving, yep.
Are those
Okay.
available online,
What?
the applications?
The application is up, but each establishment got mailed a new application for the new fiscal year, because they have to send in,
Yep.
payment and everything.
Awesome.
Just trying to make it, the thing I ways to make it easier.
I know. After, this is why this whole process, changed this year, we've kind of been a little bit more strict in requesting different information so we can standardize all the information we do have in the office so that next year will be a lot easier.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome. Going forward, the next one, update from the food inspector. I'm gonna turn that around. I'd like to update her by saying thank you very much for everything you've done.
There is one email which all of you have gotten also for the board to consider from the health inspector. I don't know if you want to read it or if you want me to read it.
Where's it at, Jess?
It's a separate email.
Right there on in front of you, right by the folder.
This guy here?
No.
Contingency plan for village.
Nope,
Right
right
here,
under
right
the
here.
folder. Yep.
Right here. Okay, I can read it. I can still read. I'll ask the board to consider the following at tonight's meeting. I would like to, okay. So Tricia, our health inspector, would like to commit to remaining in service to the board as health inspector at her current rate for the entirety of fiscal year 25. That was a tongue twister. July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025. In this capacity, I would continue to conduct food inspections at a frequency of at least twice per year as the budget allows. I also offer my services to conduct housing inspections and to investigate any complaints. In exchange for this commitment, I would ask the board to assist me in earning additional certifications that will build on my education and help me be a better inspector. I would like to earn the 4 AFDO credentials, which are each $245, and I ask the board to consider covering this cost of each course requires 40 hours of study, but I would commit to doing that on my own time. I only ask the board to fund the $980 to cover the cost of the study materials and exam proctoring. The 4 certifications would be Food Safety Regulator, Food Foundations Regulator, Manufactured Foods Regulator, and Retail Foods Regulator. My goal is to earn all 4 credentials by June 30th, 2025. At times, she's gonna be busy. Each credential is required to move on
To the next.
to the next. So if I do not pass the exam, the remaining credentials cannot be earned. I am hopeful this board will consider covering the small cost of continuing education. I say yes. Any feedback?
So,
So in here, she's asking, it's mainly to buy the materials, right?
that's what I was just looking at here.
So-
There's 2 different fees here, so I just
If,
checked it on
if she happened not to be the inspector no more, would we get that material that she used? Since we were our board
I would
paying,
put that as a stipulation, yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's only,
If someone else could use that knowledge, if she would get it. But
yeah, I think that's
do you think that's
acceptable.
one part of it?
And typically, when I do that at my job, I send people out for outside training.
Yeah.
All the materials come back to the company.
Yes. She would have all the access materials she would need at any time, but when she was done with it, it would come back to us.
It'd be like just review then, because after she passed the exam, then you know?
Yeah,
All
it's
she
really-
would
yeah.
need to do is go use that for review material.
Yeah, and if she needed it ever again, it's.
You got it,
Or
yeah.
another branch of her division
When
needed
she
it.
leaves us, that it's ours.
Yes, if she did leave us, which I hope not. But you never know in these day and ages that.
Yep.
I mean, you're just shy of $1,000. I mean,
Yeah, it's a.
980.
yeah.
980, and I will be, I do believe her line item will just be south of 800 here real soon. So I'm gonna find some way to find the rest of it.
I think we can do it.
Like I say, and I'm saying it's pretty much our. We could get, anyone could use it
Yeah.
if need be to get these certifications.
I am a stickler for
So-
training. I am all for training.
I'm a approver of it.
I'm gonna make a motion to accept, Tricia's proposal here. I'm gonna make a motion to accept Tricia's proposal, our health inspector, for going to school and, in regards to the material, once you leave us, Tricia, we're going to keep the material. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion's been made, second, all in favor?
I.
Thanks, Trish.
How's tomorrow going?
Hmm?
How's Tammy going?
New business, shared services grant iPad usage, need to send off so it can be set up for us. So does everybody know how this goes? They got this little iPad walking around out there that's got all the documents, all the forms, all the discrepancy reports and everything else you can pull up, but it's got to belong to somebody. Who wants to take responsibility for this piece of equipment?
We already sent 2 names in for that.
I did send in to see if we can have 2 people on the iPad instead of 1. So I sent in a request for Tricia and Dan to be on it. I haven't heard back though,
Okay, thanks, Dan.
under Dan's recommendation.
Basically, I was thinking more along the lines of Trish, but if something happens where Trish is all of a sudden out of commission, we have a backup.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's great if it's gonna be programmed for 2 names. I don't see why it shouldn't. There should be a number of names in there with a number of passwords.
Okay.
So this is an interesting one, the next one. The Title V agent was just hired through the Shared Services Grant. Everybody know what that means?
Yeah, I know what that means.
That means it'll save the town a lot of money too.
But we gotta wait for this guy to get on board, or this person to get on board first. He was there, did they sign up today?
Today.
Today they signed up. So I don't know what else they have to go through.
Yeah, and there wasn't a date discussed as a start date yet. That was communicated to us at least, but it should be soon, and it would save the town a significant amount of money because it would be covered under this grant.
So is that invoice from her in here?
I believe, I think I left it in the office.
Did you?
I can go and get it if you
Would you
like.
please?
Yep.
This is interesting, guys.
Yep.
You gotta see this. air conditioner works good with that door open as well, you know?
Yes.
That's cool.
So, Title V,
So,
It's been a
so
long
this
time.
is through the regional?
yes.
Yes.
Through,
Yeah, we shared with different towns.
shared with, okay.
Yep.
What do you think, Dan? 3 years is this taking this thing to get off the ground?
Yeah.
2 years at least?
At least that, yeah.
And these are people that we can call on to assist if we
Yeah.
needed something?
Yeah, there'll be a number of towns where we're with Ludlow, and it could be Ludlow Palmer.
Ludlow and Palmer?
Yeah.
That Western?
That we're gonna share them because they just can't make enough money out of one,
Yep.
one,
So you have to review everything, so please don't sign.
So here is Chrissy's newest invoice. And we haven't a clue what has been done or whether it's been,
Right, and I talked to her today, and says we need to take our time and go through this and identify and have documentation for every one of these bills.
correct. We feel it might take a wee bit of a long time.
Yep,
There's a lot of investigation there.
yep, there is. It's not just write a blank check and go.
Right.
So yes, I think we need to go through them one line item at a time. So this goes all the way back to
Beginning of the year.
7/23.
July of '23, a year's worth almost?
Yep. July, September, October,
So was it all
November,
in this fiscal
December,
year though?
January,
It's a
March,
revolving account,
Oh.
April,
so I have to go through it
May,
very thoroughly
June.
each time any of these invoices are submitted for Title V.
So, I don't know how to be nice with this, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I hate this. I don't wanna ever see anything like that on going through our department again. That cannot happen.
There should be like a report with each one of these, correct?
There should be documentation backup with each
And
one of
there's
those.
just a
Not
date
just
and-
a submittal like that, because I can't verify whether that was done or not.
So in each file, there should be documentation, which over time I will be able to figure out. So I can
But it's
let
gonna
you
take
guys
time
know.
to get there.
Well, I see one here, it actually says Long Hill Road. We don't have a Long Hill Road. Just saying.
Devil's Lane?
There's a section of Warren, it's a Devil's Lane, but this Long Hill Road, that's,
That's West Brookfield.
The last invoice, I did thoroughly go through
Dunham Town.
also.
You know, the way I see this is that the customer should come in and apply for an application for the permit. No?
They do. So not the contractor usually does. So they submit a fee
Yeah.
for whether it's a perk test or
Title V?
Title V.
So somewhere in there, I'm going to have a permit for every one of those names in there?
Should have.
Yes. For perk, like I said, the new septic systems, and there should be steps for
there's one
like
in
a plan
Brimfield and
review.
one in West Brookfield.
We're gonna
Two
take care
red
of
flags
the
right
towns
there.
Out of warrants, taxes. It's amazing that on the 21st of July of 2020, no, 2023? Where do we find a date? Well, oh yeah, 23. That we do 4 inspections. Keys Road, Devil's Lane, South Street, and Sardi Street. 1 hour each, 4 hours. And for some reason, she didn't have to go back on any of them. So, like I say again, this just can't happen. Next time we'll just put it in a shredder.
Are you saying the date or the quantity of the invoice? What are you saying can't happen?
The
Just
way
so
it's
I-
all, it shouldn't be a half a year or 3/4 of a year invoice.
Should
Okay,
be
yeah.
monthly or even by the,
So with this new Title V person through the shared grant, we won't have to pay anybody.
We won't have to pay anybody?
No, the grant
No,
pays
it's the
them.
grant.
so the grants hired this person to perform the duties
Mhm.
within the regional agreement communities.
That's great. That's great.
So we pay the Title V agent 50% of what we take in,
Right.
so that can
So we won't be doing that
taken
anymore.
for the town, yeah.
So we take and we keep.
I don't know if there's a time frame where this grant ends, but
Well, I'm sure there's a renewal date for it, because most grants are set up on an annual or biannual basis. And is the state gonna keep funding it?
yeah.
And there's perks in here as well.
Yes, yep. So when I receive a request in the office with payment for a perk test, I reach out to our Title V agent and let her know. And then between her and the contractor, engineer, whichever person, they schedule it.
Do I have
I
all that
don't.
information on those perk tests?
I
On
don't
how much
know
the
the
water
dates.
drop per minute, per hour, and all that other stuff? The whole, I think it's almost like 11 pages of
Yeah,
information.
there is the Form 11.
That's a Form 11.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of information in there on what that perk tester saw.
Yeah.
And for all intents and purposes, it should have been witnessed by a Board of Health personnel.
Which she
She considers
is
considers
our
herself? Okay.
Board of Health
Representative.
representative,
Okay.
thank you.
All right. But I think this is a horrible invoice, absolutely disgusting. If I ever submitted something like that, I'd be out of a job in a heartbeat. I might exaggerate a little bit there. All right, current year, end of fiscal year. Well, here's to 2025, guys. Onward through the fog. Another challenging year, I'm sure.
There'll be a challenge around every corner.
A challenge around every corner.
Especially the North Street area.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time and doing everything you can to help the people of Warren. Bills and payroll, old business. I'm just going to make a motion to
Before you do that, old business,
old business, yeah?
yeah, 38 Elm Street.
30, yeah.
We had a visit, or I should say, Jessica had a visitor today.
Yeah, I got it here. Yeah.
We need to get the building inspector, now this is supposedly gone to tax title. I don't know where it sits, that's what Jim told us. I don't know where it's sitting right now, because there seems to be nothing moving on it. So we need to kick the can and find out what's going on with it, why nobody's reacting to it. The house is literally falling down around them,
Yeah,
okay? The porch has already dropped off the house.
yeah.
It's not too long before the eaves start falling out. We gotta get the building inspector to go up there and bang on that door.
she might knock the whole place down if she does that, Dan.
He.
He, I'm sorry, he.
Then the problem will be solved.
I know the water's shut off. I'm really surprised there's frogs living in there
Again,
again. And of course, we're going to turn it into a mosquito trap at this point in time.
that's already that.
It's already all
And you've got
that.
other critters up there too.
I'm sure there's no dogs in the house, there's no people in the house.
There's a dog in the house, there's people in the house.
There's a dog and a people in
Yeah,
there?
they're not supposed to have dogs.
Oh my gosh.
And yes, she's living there. There's two of them living
Really?
So they're living there with no water?
there. So we've sent mail to the property, from Board of Health, and it's been, a month, after a month it comes back unopened.
Yeah.
Now, there's 11 years worth of back taxes on the property. So, I can basically tell you right now, I can go up there tomorrow and condemn the place.
Yeah, yeah, this is sort of paralleling, Bacon Street, where that's supposed to be condemned and everything, but you still see lights up there on the attic floor. And that water shut off as well. I don't understand, on that Bacon Street for one, why people don't call the police, because I do believe there's tape around there, if I'm not mistaken.
There is,
So if you see lights on, then call the police. But on the 38 Elm, I didn't know there were people still living in here without
Yeah.
water. That's incredible. And dogs too.
and our neighbor next door has basically told Jess that, she'll be down here every day until she starts seeing some action.
Jim, the town administrator, must be on vacation at this point.
He is.
So today's Tuesday, won't be back till Monday. I'd like to put a hold on this until Monday and talk to him and see where it stands. See what he's got, just so we're not opening up a can of worms. You know?
It's fine, I mean, I can go up there anytime and condemn it. And once
Okay.
the town condemns it, we're responsible for putting somebody up. If they have to leave the property, then we have to find a place for them to go.
Just Monday afternoon, when you come back from sampling, can you give Jim a call? Or send him an email, see if he'll respond to an email quicker? On the
I
status.
might have previous documentation that it's been sent, but I can,
Yeah, we need to
reach out to them.
find out, we need to see some action on this thing, because it's literally a hazard to the people, number one, living there, and the people that are in the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's a tight neighborhood,
Yeah.
close housing and.
And last time I did a presentation for the select board, the front porch was falling off the house. The eaves had holes in the size of softballs. The side porch was literally dropping off.
You ever see any cars in that 38?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, cars, so they can drive, they can pay insurance and things like that. Times are getting tough out there, though. Okay. Anything else on old business?
No.
Bills and payrolls. So I'll just go over them real quick. Mikowski's stipend, Dan's stipend, James' stipend, the animal control officer stipend, health inspector $1,200. Our medical inspector, Cheryl,
Nurse.
$250. Quabbin Analytical, Cummins Pond, May 130, June 260. Town of Warren Sewer, $90. That's not bad. Slim and Bartholomew Sewer, Legion, 150. Barton and LaJudas Monitoring, $680 for PFAS.
PFAS.
PFAS, the famous PFAS.
Yeah, we gotta work on some plan to get these residents involved in switching off of the wells onto public water. We need to sit down, maybe have a meeting with the water department. See what we can come to for an offering to maybe get these people enticed coming off of the well, going onto town water.
So, talking to Jim, and we're all on that same plane. Let's get those people off of their wells and onto the town water. That is going to be West Warren. So the water department has got just one guy who works 1 hour per day, Andy. But he is very, very knowledgeable. Do you know Andy? It's cool.
Well, I know him well.
And talking, so the first thing that comes out is Jim. Jim's request was that we get the sampling of the monitoring that the engineering company did for those 2 wells. See if any kind of contaminants are rising or are at, critical levels.
Well, they haven't tested those wells. That's up to each individual homeowner to test the wells. We test the groundwater that comes off of the wells at the base of the landfill.
Somewhere out there I got an email from Matthew who took Patrick's position, that he actually samples those wells and he's looking for PFAS inside those wells.
Easy.
So he has information on everything from, I don't know why I'm at a loss. Well, starting with just regular, Legionnaire's disease
The
and
last
things like
time I
that.
was talking with him, he didn't test the wells.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe we ought to check into that just to make sure.
I will. And then from there, what happens, talking to Andy once upon a year, the water pressure going up that street isn't that great. We're going to need a
Booster.
What kind?
A booster.
A booster, right? So somewhere out there's going to be a booster station. And I did mention it to Matthew, and hey, look, he might be coming on board just to engineer a booster station on seeing what it might cost. So then after that, you come down to the whole thing of what is it going to cost us to save what? So evidently these 2 wells could be $80 a quarter. Talking to Joe. Because he lives in West Warren and that's what he pays.
Yeah.
So, you're looking.
But those rates are gonna go up.
Those rates are gonna go up. So let's make it $100. So you're gonna be looking at $400 a year. What's it gonna cost me for a booster station, or us, the people of Warren, a booster station, and what's it knock off of our
PFAS.
PFAS, right?
But the booster station could come through possible grant.
Through possible rent?
Grant.
Grant. A grant. That would be something. That would be something. And I bet you that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you that fresh water's out there.
So if we were able to get a grant to fund the purchase and install the booster pump, it would offset.
And you know, not for nothing, hey, but there are grants out there for lead pipe
Removal.
inventory, just to find out who's got
That's-
lead pipe.
Currently, what the West Warren Water District's working on a project going on.
Really? So then maybe there's a, you know, like a sign item there for, hey, if we found this, there's
Yeah,
also
the lead, that's a project in itself, I believe. Lead identification.
for, right,
Both,
right,
I believe both water districts are working on that project currently.
right. I haven't seen anybody out there replacing any kind of lead pipe yet, but supposedly there's a lot in there.
Because what this is identifying where the lead pipes are within people's houses and the street itself.
Yeah, just coming up from the main to the house,
Yeah, There's
the feed.
two different
Services.
sides to the project.
Well, some of these houses are old enough to go from the feed into their
Yeah.
house and have the whole house.
So
with
the
lead
street
pipe.
might have no lead piping or,
But maybe the resident
but the
itself.
residents, or vice versa. The house might, and then the street might. So
Right, right.
this is what the two water districts with a grant, I believe, are
Because
identifying.
there are two different pieces of equipment that they use to hook up the lead pipe that feeds the house to the steel pipe that's in the ground. Dan, I'm gonna need you here. A commercial something, a commercial fitting. It's a commercial fitting that you're attaching two different types of metal.
Yes, because when you have, if you take the two, like, you're an iron pipe and a lead pipe together, you get a galvanic reaction on it.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And both pipes are gonna end up rotting right out.
That's one of the big things here, is that connection, that if you're gonna change it over to steel, or copper, you're going to have to change this fitting that goes over the main pipe.
Right, and a new thing that's the newest thing in the field today is, and we're doing all the installs on it right now, is most houses, you've seen over the past 5-10 years, they've gone to, in new construction, they've gone to PEX, the plastic piping.
Yeah,
Okay, well, now, most of your industrial waters and a lot of your larger residential communities, like condominiums and hotels and that, they're all going to PEX, large diameter PEX to supply water to your residents. We've got coils of this stuff sitting in our yard.
I had my camper redone with PEX.
I mean, it's the way to go now.
Yeah.
It's flexible, it fluctuates with the ground movements, it doesn't break, it doesn't freeze.
I know.
There's a whole
But it
lot of
wasn't cheap
benefits.
either.
It's not cheap, but there's a whole lot of benefits to it.
Yeah.
So you're gonna see that, and, you know, what we're doing right now is running, and this stuff comes in like coils. The coils we have measure on a 6-inch diameter pipe. Sitting off the ground, the coil is probably 20 feet tall,
I bet.
and it's one line. So you run it out 20 feet, okay, or 1,000, whatever the length of the pipe is.
Yeah.
You run it out that length, and then you cut what you need off of it for the connections to go in. And the connections are pretty much like the PEX you use in your house, only on a giant scale.
And those are different connectors. Those are almost like a pinch type coupling,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. But that's the way the industry's going right now.
So where did I stop? Leaches, those if I thought.
PFAS.
PFAS or something. PFAS analysis, part of what's in there. Burdett's trash removal, 719. Solid waste solutions, 2350. So the last two, the Connecticut River Convergency Lucy stormwater testing for the season. We're paying them $225 to monitor Lucy Stone for bacteria, so that people can go in there. comes out of our budget. We didn't find somebody to sample the water because of the time constraints being like 7:30 in the morning or something like that. And, but I would rather see the people of Warren safe. So for seven hits for the season for $225, I approved it.
Who's
There is
collecting?
I'm just gotta say, there is, between Cummings Pond and this facility, Lucy Stone, there's just a lot more people out enjoying the two areas, I believe, there.
Do we have any idea when Cummings Pond's gonna open up?
It's
When-
it's open currently.
open.
It's
They have
open?
swimming lessons going on the next 2-3 weeks. So there's gonna be a lot of activity up there.
Okay. Did we get rid of the duck shit and everything up there, do you think?
Yeah, I don't think that problem wasn't.
As serious as it sounded?
Yeah,
Yeah.
last year was a lot worse.
Last year was-
This
yeah,
year has been
Yeah,
great.
this
I've
year
not
it's,
seen
it's
it.
more weeds and.
And this year,
plants.
there is a team of lifeguards actually being able to maintain the beach daily
That's awesome.
from.
There was quite a number of people there
Yep.
when I was testing on Monday.
Yes.
A lot.
Cool. That's always good.
This past weekend, we had another event at Lucy Stone. No one was really in the water, but there's people.
It's a walking thing going on, isn't there? Didn't you make a
Yep.
bath and there's a walking thing?
Yeah,
For the next 3 days or something like that?
no, it's all done.
Oh, it's all
It's
done?
all one
Yeah.
day, all done on Sunday.
Okay. So when's the little duck thing gonna happen?
I don't know if they do the duck race anymore,
I
do
think
they?
that's in July.
I don't think that's planned.
There was a request for something from the Rotary Club a while ago to provide food at the senior center during the duck race. So I don't know if anything
That would be
came
Parks
of
and
it.
Recreation
But
anyway.
Okay. Sue Ramsey?
Yeah,
Haven't heard anything, but unless it's in the planning.
Does anybody know how that goes? For $5 you buy a duck and if it wins you get to get a free drink at Glenda's or
Yeah.
something like that? Or having a clue?
Like I said, I haven't heard any plans of it.
Okay.
Haven't hearing anything, but if we do, I'm sure it'll come through.
WB Masons, $12 for labels and $28 for receipt stamps. Oh, I'm gonna make a motion to approve all those bills and payroll. Do I have a second?
second.
Motion made and second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, approved minutes from 5:15 and 6:12. I make a motion to approve the Board of Health meetings for the town of Warren for 5/15/24 and 6/12/24. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion made. Next meeting to be discussed. What do you think, guys? Today's Tuesday, the 16th, July 16th? We don't know.
So you wanna keep them on Wednesdays and?
That would be July 17th,
July
Wednesday.
17th.
Jessica, have you got any? Doesn't matter?
the only thing that I see is if we have a meeting Wednesday nights or Tuesday nights, I can be in the office the next day for any requests or finishing the notes. It's no concern for me either way, but
Does Tuesdays seem better? Or
Yeah.
it's just I'm in the office the next
I think
day.
that's a great
Is
idea.
is there any
But-
competition with any of the,
Yeah, that there is a
Department.
sign up now, so I can look at that and it could sway our decision.
it does, it would be a good thing, because if we make something
We
and
want
make a
something to
decision
happen
and
tomorrow.
someone needs to make a contact, we have someone available to do that the
Yeah.
following day
But
versus.
again, whatever you guys,
well, let's shoot for the
Like, we could
16th,
do-
I think.
The 16th on this calendar is highlighted. I don't know why.
I'll
It's
look
highlighted
into
on
it.
this one too.
Could be slightly of a, some type
It's
of
highlighted on
holiday.
yours,
but-
too.
I just wanna make sure that they're.
No, on the
That's
bottom.
It's June 19th stuff, so that we don't
Small
have
calendar
July
on the bottom, June
16th.
6th,
No.
July 16th.
No,
That's some
But-
kind of other
I'm in,
holiday.
I don't have it highlighted.
Like
on
right
the
here.
calendar.
you're in June.
July.
Let's see, is there anything, is it written on here?
Nothing.
I can look into it and let you guys know.
16th looks good.
So
What's
16 's
Ashura?
Good for
It says
everyone?
Ashura begins
I'm
at
good. I'll
sundown.
shoot for it.
Yeah, I looked at that. I don't think that has nothing to do with a holiday for us. I'm good with that.
Would this be at 6 PM?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I will, let you know
Awesome.
when I get back to the office.
Is that something we want to kind of change in our starting July for the fiscal year? To keep them on Tuesday nights, Tuesday
Yes.
evenings?
Cool.
That work for people?
It's a crapshoot.
I'm just saying, it is to a point that
It is.
Yeah.
it's in the middle of the
I would
week
say for the
kinda,
most part,
it's-
yeah, but there is gonna be times where I have a conflicting crapshoot.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
I mean, that's for any night of the week, really.
Awesome. Well, then I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn the Board of Health meeting here on June 25th, 2024 at 7:38 PM. Do I have a second?
Second,
Motion's been made and second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Meeting's adjourned.